Hey everybody, welcome back to In Bed with a Millennial. I'm the Millennial Javeda Bay and this is my bed, and we are focusing on communication all this month because it is my hope that this year 2024 we all become better communicators. And so with that, today I want to dive in to communication skills around communicating boundaries, because a lot of us struggle with it. Also, a lot of us don't really understand boundaries. So let's resolve all of that right now. So let's get into it. Okay, Dre, but like, what are boundaries actually? I am so glad you asked. Boundaries are limits and rules that we come up with for ourselves as they relate to our relationships with others. And I'm gonna say it one more time: limits and boundaries that we create for ourselves. Boundaries are what we create for ourselves. Boundaries are not what we tell other people to do. So I just want to make that abundantly clear that boundaries are not you saying, hey, you stop doing XYZ thing to me. It's you saying, I am not going to engage when blah, blah, blah does XYZ thing to me. It is about what you can do and what you can control. You can't control what other people do to you. As much as some of us wish that we could, we cannot. So boundaries are about you. Boundaries are created for you by you and apply to the relationships that you're in or going to be getting into. But it's important to communicate these boundaries, because if we're out here just being like la da da da, expecting people to know how and what we're cool and okay with in relationships, that's where things get a little iffy. So how do we go about communicating boundaries? Well, first things first, you need to figure out what yours are. Most of us don't spend time on like how understanding like or thinking about how we want to be respected by others. What does it look like to for us when we feel respected by someone? We feel like they are actually taking us into account. Most of us are just like going about our day being like, okay, well, okay, I guess I'll just proceed as usual, ignoring that as usual doesn't have to be what it is if it's not working for you. So you need to figure out your boundaries, and they can relate to a bunch of different things. Like, okay, I have boundaries around like how much time I'm willing to give people during the work week because I need to focus on XYZ thing. Or I'm going to set my own boundaries around like how much I'm putting into relationships if they don't seem reciprocal. So figure out what it is. If you're like, okay, just started dating someone new, I'm going to set some boundaries because I don't want to like drop the ball in other areas of my life and other relationships. So I'm be like, hey, I just want you to know that I've set a boundary for myself that after like 5 p.m. on Tuesdays, I am going to be on D&D because that's me and my best friend's like weekly catch up time, whatever it might be. But thinking about the things that you're like, I don't want to change this because it works for me. It's me taking care of myself, my needs. And that's what's important. And it's not just like about like the actual, like, oh, this is my time. So like, it can look like a lot of different things. Like I have a boundary. Like, hey, actually, I don't. I have a boundary around sleepovers. Like as we're getting into this relationship, I don't feel comfortable with you staying the night yet. I would like us to take it slower in that avenue. Like you can obviously come over, but like no spending the night. We can discuss it as we get a little deeper into this relationship. It can also look like digital space. Like, hey, I'm totally cool with you having access to my social media profiles, my phone, all that jazz. Just don't do XYZ things, or like whatever it might be. You have to decide that for yourself. Deciding your boundaries and then expressing them to your partner. So, when it comes to having the conversation with your partner, step one, make it abundantly clear that you want to have a conversation about boundaries. Don't just like start any old casual conversation like, oh my gosh, what'd you do today? And then 2 minutes later, you're like, and actually, I don't like it when I don't want you to like take showers with me, or like whatever it might be. Don't just drop it on people. Make it abundantly clear that you want to have a conversation around boundaries, because you want to make sure that y'all are on the same page with how you proceed and interact with each other. And that also makes space for them to share their boundaries with you, because boundaries are not a one-way street. Like if you have boundaries, someone else also has boundaries. So having the conversation and making it abundantly clear that that's the focus of the conversation. Like, I just want to carve out some time to talk our boundaries as we proceed in this relationship. It's good, it's healthy, it's great. It minimizes conflict that will arise later down the line. It also makes it abundantly clear so you can actually see like, okay, this person is truly just not respecting me. Like I laid it out for them. They told me that they understood what my boundaries are, yet they continuously push my boundaries. So maybe this is not the person for me. So, have the conversation. And of course, the way I recommend going about it, first things first, do it somewhere in a neutral zone. Do not try and talk about your boundaries in the bedroom. It's not the place to do it. Go and like plan a picnic, go out to dinner or lunch or wherever, or just do it out in the living room. But do not have your boundary conversation in the bedroom, especially like before or after like sexy time. You got to make sure you're in a headspace to like hear it. Also, for a lot of us, again, setting boundaries and expressing our boundaries is new to us. Do not do things that are going to cause anxiety in the bedroom. We want to minimize anxiety in this space. We want this space to be comfortable and amazing and wonderful and open for us to experience pleasure. And it's not going to be that if you're like, hey, let's talk boundaries as you're like laying in bed together and you're like, oh my God, I'm never going to be able to go to sleep now. So, different setting, advance notice, and then just like taking your time. Take your time with the conversation. You don't have to rush through it and be like, okay, these are my boundaries. Boom, 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 boom. Done. Moving on. No. Like, take time and have a conversation about it, especially because remember, we all have different stories, backgrounds, life experiences. A boundary that makes sense to you, and you're like, duh, this is common sense, might not be the same for someone you're engaging in a relationship with because they grew up completely different. Like, me, bathroom door is open. I'm still having a full conversation with you. Other people are like, no, we're closing the door. I grew up in a house where you went to the bathroom by yourself. I'm like, I grew up in a house where I was still having a full conversation and I was having you tell me what was going on TV right now because I didn't wait till a commercial break to go see what was to go to the bathroom. So actually have a conversation so that way if there's a little confusion, like I don't understand like how this is a boundary, why would this need to be in place, like we're in a relationship, delve into that. Because if you just say something and then someone's like, I don't understand, conflict will arise when there's not like actual discussion so that everyone's on the same page and like has a little bit like more grasp around things. And it's not to say that they're trying to challenge your boundaries. I mean, like, but why? They just probably just don't have an understanding. And culture plays a lot into that. If you are in a relationship with someone that has different cultural backgrounds than you, things that make sense in other cultures do not make sense in other cultures. And when you think of it in the context of like American culture and relationships, there's a lot of things that I'm like, yeah, this would have to be explained if you were dating someone that is not from America. So it's okay if they question things. That's just them trying to learn and understand you better, which is a good thing. Obviously, if the questions get to a point where it sounds like they're trying to like manipulate and convince you to like loosen the boundary or throw it out, that is a no-go. That's a red flag. We're not here for it. But yeah, boundaries are extremely important, and I want you to take some time to think about your boundaries because that is how we take care of ourselves in 2024. That is how we make it so that way we live the life we want. We know that we ourselves are taken care of and set up for what we want out of life. But if we're out here just doing stuff without boundaries and just like giving ourselves wholly to everyone, no. And I say that as someone that is absolutely not great at upholding their boundaries. So we're working on it together, and that is okay. But actually talk about your boundaries. Let people know. Don't assume that they are going to know, like, oh, actually, Javay doesn't like public displays of affection. She'd rather wait and just like do that in behind closed doors. They're not going to know if you don't tell them. So express your boundaries and it'll be great. But yeah, that is that. Make sure you come back next week because we're continuing the communication conversation. And definitely make sure you're subscribed to this YouTube channel because there is so much new content coming that you don't want to miss. So hit that subscribe button. Definitely make sure you're following me on all the social media platforms because different stuff everywhere. And there may or may not be a giveaway happening on my Instagram. So go follow. And lastly, make sure you are subscribed to my email newsletter because the email newsletter is where everything is found out first. And if you want to be the first to know stuff, you want to be on that email newsletter. Also, if by some way I'm booted off of YouTube and social media, my email list is where you're going to find me. So subscribe to that. Subscribe to this. And I'm going to see you later. Deuces.